more linear for this thing. So, but several years, all of a sudden, there is a, like a silver or blue sheet of energy in the room. One year, I swear we opened a portal.
The expansion is a product of the transformation.
It is. And here's why. And it's so simple. Every one of these patterns that our body runs, and we have layers of them, right? We're from the womb, the body, the limbic system is actually learning fight or flight.
So fascinating. Like, yeah, it's really interesting how the movement is accessing the different parts of the brain. That's really.
Yeah. And here's another way to think about this. I told you this is a different way to think, and it's a little mind scramble for some people. But you said it's probably like fear, which is an explanation for a feeling that we have.
So let's put it to the test. But I know in the freebie you said for today, Liz is actually going to give you guys an opportunity to do an exercise with us today to really help you start that process of, breaking those habits, but doing it from the space of the feelings, not forcing that logical mind or having that logical mind try to force its way through the feeling, which we all know isn't really possible. We know through experience.
A walk every day, or maybe it's picking up the phone and calling that person that you're supposed to be calling back, something small like that. And just as you're sitting, think about it. Let's take, making that phone call that I know I'm supposed to make. I'm supposed to call my Aunt Carol, but I don't want to, right? And as you're sitting and thinking about it, just notice where your eyes naturally want to go to think about it. There's going to be a place where you like, oh, it's right here. So as your eyes just kind of are there, just think about picking up the phone and making that call. And notice what happens. Notice if you want to swallow. Notice your mouth goes a little dry. Notice if your heart races a little, or there's that little something that happens in your gut. Maybe your hands get a little jittery, or all of a sudden there's low back pain. Just notice it. And then I'm going to have you let your eyes drop down to your body. Don't close them though. Let your eyes drop to your chest. And this is the kinesthetic eye position. This is where I'm going to feel the most. We know this is true because, like, you stub your toe, you got to look at it. You cut your finger, you got to look at it. Like, our eyes connect with our body in this way. And now you're just going to let the eyes sway just kind of left and right, like shoulder to shoulder in this down position, and think about doing that thing. On my exercise, it would be like calling Aunt Carol. And let that feeling, the little fear or the hesitation, whatever it is that's happening in your body, let it be there just for now. Take a big deep breath in and relax down into the sensation. Exactly the opposite of what you want to do. By now, you're kind of wanting to run away from it. Like, Liz, can we just stop? Take another big deep breath. And let that feeling get bigger in your body. And think through, I got to make that call. It's going to be such pain. Whatever it is, just left and right. And just notice that sensation in your body. Let it get a little bigger now. Imagine yourself doing the thing right now. And notice if the sensation in your body gets a little bigger. If it does, fantastic. Take a big deep breath and drop right down into the middle of it. It's going to relax down into the middle of that feeling. Just imagine yourself doing it, the thing, whatever it is, and big deep breath. Relax down into it one more time. Good. Now, let your eyes come back to neutral for a second, just straight ahead. Let your head come up and just sit for a minute and think about making that call again. Notice if your eyes go back to that same place. And now just imagine yourself doing that thing just for a second. Notice if it's a little different this time. Like, okay, maybe I could do that. Or maybe it's worse. Maybe you really don't want to do it. Just notice. Good. Okay. Now, next, what you want to do is let your eyes move all the way right. So your head's going to stay straight and level, and let your eyes move all the way right. And now move them from your shoulder to the ceiling. You want to really make them stretch. And let yourself feel how you feel about that thing. In my example, calling Aunt Carol. And notice how your body feels now. Notice what's the same and what's different. We're not looking for better. All the way to the ceiling and all the way to the floor. And breathe. Let yourself kind of drop down into that feeling. Actively noticing your body relax into it. And now imagine doing the thing. We're actually in your left hemisphere. We're looking to the right, but we're in your left hemisphere of your brain. And relax into the feeling, letting it be there as much as it is. Good. And now just let your head come back and rest for a minute. Let your eyes rest. Good. And bring your head back to neutral and just think about doing that thing again. And notice if your eyes are kind of confused about where to look. They might be, or you might go right back to that same place. And just notice what's different about it now. I got to do the thing. I got to call Aunt Carol. Just notice. Notice how your body feels. What's the response? Good. All right. Now move your eyes hard left. You want to keep your head straight and level, but move your eyes over to the left. And now from your shoulder to the ceiling, you're going to think about doing that thing and notice how you're feeling. And move slow. If you want to move fast, it probably means your eyes are wanting to avoid a spot. Breathe and relax into the feeling. If there's a little anxiety, fear, whatever it is, let yourself relax into the feeling. Let it be there as much as it is. Really scanning all the way from low to high, making your eyes stretch a bit. Noticing if your eyes want to move a little more digital here, or if it's smoother on this side, or man, they just don't want to move there at all. It's okay. You're doing great. Big deep breath. And move those eyes up and down. Really just letting yourself think about and feel more than anything about that thing you want to do. One more time, all the way up and down. And then just come back to the center and let yourself rest. Just kind of noticing how your body's feeling. Now, for some people, these are eye positions we never go into. So your body might be feeling a little energy. It might be feeling, a little confused. It might be feeling a little buzzy. Just notice what's the same and what's different. And let your eyes come back to neutral again, just straight ahead, and think about doing the thing. And notice if your eyes go to the exact opposite place. Sometimes that happens. Or maybe they're not sure where to go. Or maybe they go back to the same place. Just noticing. Breathe and just notice how you're feeling about taking care of that thing now, that thing you want to do. Good. Okay, here's the last one. Keep your chin down, head straight and level, but let your eyes move up. And think about the thing that you want to do, but feel into it more than anything. What does it feel like? In my example, it's calling Aunt Carol. And now let your eyes move left and right across the ceiling. Noticing how you're feeling about it now. Relaxing down into that sensation in the body. And move slow. It's almost like you're contemplating here. This is the thinking part of your brain. And walk yourself through what would it be like to do the thing, calling Aunt Carol in my case, but whatever it is for you. And feel into it. Keep breathing, dropping down into it, relaxing. It's a relaxing game. Good. And now just let your head drop and your eyes rest because they're going to be a little tired. It's not something you're used to doing. Just let yourself rest. And notice what your body's doing. Notice what's happening behind your eyelids. Notice what's happening in your body. Notice how things feel like they're moving or not moving. Just resting. The pause in between lets things integrate, lets your body consider what it just experienced. And then just let your head come up and let your eyes come back to neutral. And then just let yourself consider that thing again. In my example, calling Aunt Carol. And notice what happens. What's different about the thought and feeling now? For many of you, you'll be like, oh, I could do that. Or you're like, oh, wait, I don't even need to do that. Or you'll realize why you didn't want to do it. But for most people, there will be something that is a bit different because the whole body looked at it in a brand new way. So in this case, we used sensation and eye position to connect with that particular pattern. We let the kinesthetic body look. We let the left hemisphere look and the right hemisphere look, and the ideas and inspiration part of the nervous system look. And so usually what happens in that short time is the body is like, oh, wait, that's not exactly what I thought it was. And most people will come up with something new around that, just in that short period of time. Well, because the nervous system has now seen it, the brain has seen it, the body has seen it in a new way with layers of things. A lot of times people will come up with that like, oh, well, I don't even know I wanted to do that. Or wait, why don't I do it next Tuesday? Or there'll be a sensation of just neutrality around it. Like I could do it or not, or you'll have seen like, okay, the reason I don't want to call her is this, right? So in cognitive movement, we always say we're not necessarily looking for better in a first round like that. What we're looking for is what's different, out of the ditch onto the curb. How do I feel differently about this now? How is the pattern a little bit different? So really most people in just those 4 positions will be feeling a little differently about it. And because you're feeling different, you think a little bit different about it.
Hey y'all, did your vibration get a serious boost from this week's podcast? I know mine did. And I'm willing to bet there's a whole community that also feels the same way. Wait, actually, there is a whole community. That's right. On Facebook, we now have the Transformation to Expansion community where we actually have weekly discussions about the podcast episodes, and we even try out the freebies all together as a community to help us stay accountable. So definitely go ahead and check that out. The link is in the description below, and I'll see y'all there. Peace. My shoulders got a little like tense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I chose, it was like tap to something a little bit deeper that I'm probably have to like work through a little bit more. But yeah, like I started to feel, and even now I'm like feeling a little bit tension like here.
And so your eyes just moved up, and unless you're flipped up and to your right, is that look right for me? Okay, it's up and to your left, so you're flipped for me. So as you went like this, you went there. So touch your shoulders again.
Okay. Yes.
Your eyes go right there. See where they right went? Okay. So let your eyes go there where they want to go. Take a big deep breath. Relax down into that tension. Let it be there, but relax into it. And let your eyes drift just a little bit farther in that direction. Yeah, there you go. Good. And breathe again. And kind of start to rub that tension in the body just a little bit. Relax your body into the tension and let your eyes stay there. Good. Good. One more time. Big deep breath. Relax into those shoulders. Let your eyes stay. And now what I want you to do is move them to the exact opposite. And now relax and breathe into that tension. And just notice how it feels different. What feels different on when your eyes are on this side than on the other?
Actually, the tension isn't like there as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a different part of your brain that is handling that system. Now, what's true? Was there tension or not? In this side, yeah. In this side, no. It's just a different part of the nervous system. So that's a way you can do it. You actually access and notice that problem, fear, you want to call it that, as much as you do, and move, let your eyes go where they want to go. Breathe into it a few times and then move them to a different space, and you'll find that the system makes a different choice. So for you on that subject, do the 4 opinions of the brain again, really noticing that tension. And then every time you're going to come back to that eye position and see what's changed.
Okay.
So what we say is the problem, the solution is in the same place. So that particular place is very likely where your brain handles the problem you were working on and creates the pain right there. You can hold your eyes there for a while longer and eventually that will go, or you can just move it to a different place and it reroutes the signal. And it also gives a different part of your brain to look at it. So if you're looking to your right, you're in your left hemisphere. If you're looking to your left, you're in your right hemisphere. By shifting that pattern, you let the other part of the brain take a look, which has a different opinion. So you're simply finding another route for your system to handle that unique situation, that unique problem state. It very often really isn't a problem in the first place when you find out what it really is.
Right, which I mean, at the end of the day, it would be like fear or something, right? Or it's really interesting how the movement is accessing the different parts of the brain.
Yeah. And here's another way to think about this. I told you this is a different way to think, and it's a little mind scramble for some people. But you said it's probably like fear, which is an explanation for a feeling that we have. It may not be fear at all. It may be a feeling that our body felt one other time when we had fear, right? But all it really is that physical reaction. Oh, there's a lion? Well, no, there was a popsicle, right? So it changes the way you think about a lot of these standard emotions that we have. I'm going to describe it as fear, but what it really is a kink in my stomach or a constriction in my throat or pain in my shoulders. It's really a physical sensation that we add a description to. So it's a big diversion from therapy, because if you say it's fear, we want to understand, why do you have fear? With cogno movement, we want to understand, what pain does that create? What discomfort does it create physically? And then we go from there.
And just real quick, how does the discomfort relate to the emotion then?
Well, they are the same thing. One, we just describe, my emotion is fear, but my body is actually feeling pain.
Okay.
So for an example, I had a person who had frozen shoulder. You know what frozen shoulder is? The shoulder just won't move. There's so much pain. People have surgery for this, right? So the person, they whenever they would laugh or move, they would be in terrible pain, right? So that is discomfort, right? So when the person talked to me about it, they would rub their shoulder and they would say, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid of, and the list was a mile long, but every time touching that shoulder. So her body expressed fear through a pain in her shoulder. Right? That was the emotion, the description for the emotion, my reason for my pain, totally unconscious, subconsciously. So when we addressed that pain and found what part of the nervous system was holding it, the frozen shoulder was gone immediately. And there was no longer that descriptor about the things that were going on in her life. Like, so her body had attached fear, and the signal was to my shoulder. So we changed the way the body sent that signal, changed the signal, change the problem. Both things collapsed at the same time because
Mm-hmm.
they're the same thing. And that's why this is hard for people to learn the idea. It doesn't matter if you learn it or not, but when you understand when your body creates a reaction, it's going to create a physical sensation that we put a descriptor on: fear, sadness, guilt, shame, blame.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, it's just a physical reaction, right? That we have so often that we try to explain it away. It's still just a physical reaction. And once we can recognize that, we can change the meaning of it to anything else that the body finds more resourceful.
Change the meaning. This is so interesting. Sorry, I'm like, I think this is the first time on the show I've been like genuinely stumped. And I've had physicists come on here. Like,
I'm sorry. I told you
no,
it's a
no,
different
no,
way to
it's a
think.
compliment.
But the whole thing for me personally, it freed me from the meanings of things, right? What
Mhm.
people tell you it means, what society tells you it means, what you think it means. But when you realize, like, oh, I'm stuck. Well, no, I'm actually not. That's a descriptor. My body's restricting me from moving forward because it believes that's not safe. Oh, so I just
Mhm.
need to show my body that that's not true and
Mhm.
have it change the signal for restriction. And now I'm free to move about the planet. And this is why I said that removing one of these things, one
Mhm.
of these restrictions, one of these limitations in the body changes your consciousness. Because every time you do, you realize that that fear, blame, shame, guilt, it isn't you at all. It's
Mhm.
a weird pattern that your body got into, right? So
Mhm.
when it no longer does that anymore, you literally are free to be who you are, who you came to the planet to be.
Mhm.
Every layer, every one of those things that is gone, you're like, oh, if I don't feel stuck, then who am I? If I'm not afraid every minute, then who am I? If I don't have that driver or that meaning, gosh, I'm free to be fabulous or, an artist or, a painter or anything. So what we find is that people actually find who they are
Mhm.
without the layers of meaning, of emotion and descriptors about who that makes them be. If you're a person with anxiety, you're not a person with super high consciousness. You can't seem to be both at the same time. And so people suffer.
Mhm.
That's why my book is called Suffering is Optional. Because once you understand what it is, just a physical sensation that gives you weird ideas, you no longer have to suffer around it. You don't have to have the pain if you don't want it. Some people
Mhm.
want it for a while. That's where
Mhm.
the option comes in. You know, you have a boyfriend you break up with, you want to suffer for a couple weeks. You know how long it's going to be that you're going to sit around in your jammies and eat ice cream. And then eventually you don't anymore, right? Some people want it for a while. It's a human emotion. It's part of what we're here to do and experience until the point where you're like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm ready to just be free of it and who I really am. And then cogno movement gives you that option.
So, have you ever felt like you're meant for more? You're here for a reason. Something inside of you knows that there's more. There's more purpose, there's more connection, there's more fulfillment, there's more love to be enjoyed in this life. What if all of that was here right now? Your life easier to navigate, your dreams easier to manifest. You can live in a life of ease, even in these uncertain times with Pluto being in Aquarius. Your community of expansion is right here at your fingertips. From the moment you enter, you feel the sense of release and comfort. No more wondering if all those downloads you got as a kid were just random thoughts. No more wondering that time you had telepathy, thinking that it was just a fluke. Be with the people you know are here for you. Join our ever-expanding community on Patreon for free. And for those of you who ask, yes, the Wellness Library is included. I love y'all so much. Let's get back to the show. Peace.
I love that. I really love that. Thank you so much for sharing that gift with us. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm just like really fascinated by this whole process. It's just so different from what I've experienced. It's like you, like I said, I've done everything
Uh-huh.
under the rainbow, girl. It's ridiculous. The amount of hours I've journaled. I wish I could take back. Like I mean, not all of them, but you know, some of it was like kind of necessary, right? But yeah, I mean, it's so interesting too, because it's like, yeah, I think we all go through that process too. I think it's part of the human
It
experience
is.
too, also,
Yeah.
you know, what, you know, we see, you know, we from when we're kids, we see, oh, the woman broke up with her boyfriend, she's, you know, eating ice cream on the couch crying. And then I think somewhat we're like, oh, I want to experience that too. So we go through that experience, right? It's part
Yeah.
of being
Yeah. Yeah.
human. But
Yep.
yeah, we all get to that point where we're like, okay, I'm done. Like, this is too much ice cream. I'm done crying. I want to like live my life and move on. And so like really stepping into that power, stepping into that ability can really help a lot of people to really transform, right? And to really
Mhm.
expand, right? We were talking about that earlier, right? You transforming yourself in order to expand. The expansion is a product of the transformation.
It is. And here's why. And it's so simple. Every one of these patterns that our body runs, and we have layers of them, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
from the womb, the body, the limbic system is actually learning fight or flight. Very important to keep us safe and alive, right? But each one of them gobbles a certain amount of energy. Just like
Mm-hmm.
your computer, the more big programs you have, the slower it runs. So you have less and less and less available horsepower. What is enlightenment? What is consciousness? It's actually an energy level. Have you ever heard 500 level or above, you know, fifth dimension, fifth density? All that is an amount of available energy. So as you delete the heavy stuff, your energy raises. As you delete the heavy stuff, your energy raises more and more and more to the point where there is this feeling of lightness, enlightenment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with each one that goes, you literally, not figuratively, see the world in a new way. It's like the blinders are off, one more veil, because the untruths that your nervous system has been telling you to keep you safe and alive are gone. And you're like, whoa, I didn't know that was that green. I didn't know that person looked like that, right? So as your energy raises, your available energy is available to you.
Mm-hmm.
Your ability, your awareness grows and grows and grows. And that's literally, we see people moving into who they came to the planet to be. Not just who they believed themselves to be, but
Mm-hmm.
what am I really here to do? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Zero judgment about, you know, sitting on the couch and eating ice cream, being as stuck as you were, being as angry as you were, being as, you know, whatever it is you are. No judgment, human experience. But there comes a point, and it's happening faster and faster on the planet now, where healers on the planet, people who are here to help, they need to get clear. They need to be conscious.
Mm-hmm.
And so now things like this have become available where you can delete those out of your system. You have more and more energy. And every time you do, you arrive in a new place. You see things with fresh eyes. You have a whole new framework to look at everything. And your consciousness just expands and gets bigger and bigger. And you become happier. You become more neutral about everything. You're far less attached to anything at all, like anything that people think or don't think or don't do. You're like, oh, that is interesting. What am I supposed to here do next? Right? Like, who am I
Mm-hmm.
here to help? Like, what's that book I was going to write? What's that garden I was going to plant? What's that thing I wanted to do next? And there's this sense of freedom that happens. So, changing the physiology is what we're doing. And as you do it in this expert way, you become more than you were 5 minutes ago, you know, more than you were 10 minutes ago. And it's cumulative. Our big event that we have every year is called Cognoconscious. And this is what we do. We go from blame all the way up the Hawkins scale, blame, shame, guilt, fear, anger, all the way up into willingness and acceptance and eventually enlightenment. And over 5 days, people just clear these things en masse out of their system. Well, I have to admit, this event is not easy. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's
Mm-hmm.
also not hard. It's just really letting your body take a look at a lot of those big programs in a fast way. Most people don't choose to do it this way. Most people do it over time, which is much easier. But again, there are those people who will hear my voice and be like, it's time. and I need to do this thing now. I got to get this heavy pattern off my back now. And so those are the ones who show up at this event and do the work. And it's not one of those things where you feel better in the moment, because like I said, it's hard. Like the first 3 days are hard. But it's greater than the sum of its parts. You change, and then from there, you are more and more and more different every day. Like it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and greater. It's not like you backslide because your nervous system has changed. It's permanently changed. Who you are has changed. And that sense of seeing the world in a new way is so great that there just isn't any way to come back. It's like the blinders are off and you move forward from there.
I love that. Where is this not convention, but
the event? I don't even want to call it a seminar because it is not that. There is no lecturing or talking. You are doing the thing the whole time. It's in San Diego. It's in September of this year. And
what date? Actually, I'm curious.
The dates are the 9th through the 12th.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Wait, real quick. I gotta say this. Yes. So that's really smart, Liz. So actually, do you know what's going on the 9th?
Probably not. There's usually a full moon, and it is not intentional. What's happening on the 9th September?
I mean, it's a really powerful portal. So this is great, y'all. So y'all better sign up, especially if you in San Diego. But yeah, so the 9th is a portal. I'm going to be doing an event on the 9th. But either way, this portal, September 9th, 2025, right? It's 999 portal. This is the transformation portal. So it's like not only like you really, I don't know if it was intuitive, but y'all really planned it out pretty well because that's the ideal time to actually start that process. Because the planets will be aligned with that. The numerology is behind it also. But it's just a really great opportunity. I've been telling a lot of our audience too, like just plan, like even, just do something to really initiate that transformation on the 9th. It's so important because the energy is there to really help support that process. So you've gone to the retreats, sat in ceremonies, even worked with healers, and now you've been told that it's your turn to do the work. Well, this is that next step. I'm so excited to share with y'all that this year we have our first Transformation to Expansion event on September 9th, 2025, where we will be in ceremony together, releasing all the things that are blocking us from truly transforming into the new version of ourselves. So you can really go into 2026 as the new you and stop holding back. This is going to be a really powerful activation, y'all. I really don't want y'all to miss it. If you're one of the first 15 people to sign up, your ticket is completely free. So make sure to check the link in the description below for the link to the ticket for this event. I cannot wait to see y'all there. I love y'all so much.
I will tell you honestly, I didn't know that. And Leah is our business manager, plans those times. She didn't know that, but every year it's always on one of those things. And everybody like, do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? And we're like, no, it just happens. And I really feel like it happens that way for a reason. Like I said, it's bigger than us. There are people here who need to help change the planet. That is the reason they came. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like most of the people who come to this event are people who kind of know they're meant to be a healer, and they just have not been able to get out of their way to this point, and they need to do it all in one big chunk. Mm-hmm. And it needs that extra energy, that extra oomph of what's happening, with the portals, or it's some kind of a crazy full moon, or some kind of an event like that happens. And I'll tell you, this event is so interesting because about day 3, everything shifts, and every group who shows up is completely different. Mm-hmm. So while the event structure is the same every year, the people are completely different. And who they are as a group sets the tone. Mm. And about day 3, this huge shift starts to happen in the room and in people. And day 4, it's even more dramatic. It gets bigger. And Bill and I start to see what looks like static electricity in the room.
Ooh, I love it.
And between people, and you're like, oh God, it's happening. Or Leah will be like, okay, the grid's on the floor again. And we're not usually people who talk like this. I mean, we can get as woo-woo as you want to get, but we kind of keep it a little more linear for this thing. So, but several years, all of a sudden, there is a, like a silver or blue sheet of energy in the room. One year, I swear we opened a portal. But what it is, and I'll tell you straightforward what it actually is. I think I said that the nervous system extends 6 to 8 feet around the body. And it's electricity. Your signals are electrical impulses. That's what they are. Electrical, hormonal, and chemical. And this extension around the body is so we know where we are in space. Otherwise, you'd be running into everything. And it's how you know if somebody's walking up behind you without seeing them or hearing them. You know somebody's there. You know somebody's staring at you from across the room. That's what it is. This sensing organ is out here. It used to be called the body's atmosphere. Way, way back in the day. I think Plato called it the body's atmosphere. Anyway, you're all in a room together, and these things are getting bigger and bigger and more energized. Remember, I said, as you clear a pattern, you have more energy, right? So imagine that this field around your body is getting clearer and clearer and stronger and more energized. Well, you've got 50 people in a room whose systems are more and more energized. What do you think you're going to have? You literally have all of this energy filling the space and commingling and combining. And it literally looks like you opened a portal, right? And what's super interesting about this is it has a similar effect to like going to Mount Shasta or going to Peru. A lot of people will report having new guides. If that's your thing, they'll be like, is it normal that I'm, having this new experience? People will go home and have huge physical healing experiences, and they feel like they have help with that. People's psychic skills open up too. And I love that. And as woo as it sounds, it's really just a function of being clear and clear and having more energy. Your signals are stronger. Your ability to receive signals are stronger. And those are just things that sort of naturally emerge because that's who we really are. So I love that part of it. I love the woo-woo, but I also love that it's actually part of our physical, natural beings.
Yeah, right. I love that. Honestly, I want to go.
Well, you'll have to come next year. It's amazing. It's always beautiful in San Diego. This year, I believe it's in Little Italy area of San Diego, which is so much fun, and people love to come there. So it'll be in other places, around the world at different times, but San Diego just seems to be the right place for now.
It is definitely. Yeah, there's definitely a spiritual energy there. I think a lot of people, a lot of healers, a lot of spiritual practitioners are moving to that area. Yeah. It's definitely one of the big hubs in the United States. So, okay, real quick, last question. Where do you see people or the human race expanding from here?
That is a super interesting question. And I would say that it is very different for every human. So, one of the things that seems to be really obvious when you do work like this and you're changing your perspective, you seem to shift dimension. And when you do, you meet up with people who seem to be vibrating on that dimension, right? And so I think there are people that are here to help the planet shift into that 5D space, which is a space of love or above. It is a physical sensation and it's an energetic state where you really see through the eyes of love. Like you really see everybody as a whole human being, no matter what they're doing or being in life, right? So I think this is where a big portion of the people who already have some enlightenment are going, right? I think they're headed there, and that's one dimension. And I think there's another group that's going to move into that 4D space where they know how to move energy, where they know how to, like, there are psychic abilities there as well, where their compassionate willingness is up to that level. So I think those are the places that we're moving. And I think in that space, absolutely anything is possible. Anything, especially in the love above state, because you're so open to that. What else is possible? I think that would be my answer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Liz, for coming onto the show. Y'all, make sure to do those practices that Liz was so gracious to share with us today. As always, I love y'all so, so, so much. Make sure to check out Liz. All of her details are in the description below if you want to get into contact with her. And I will see y'all next week. I love y'all so much. Peace.